you had an excellent day. If not, I'm going to cheer you up. I got some interesting drama happening on Twitter. One that's, well, I guess, a little bit more than drama, because a lot of people are concerned. Very interesting. It's all coming to fruition. For the last year or so, actually for the last 2 years, there was a huge moral panic involving anime. And this is after the previous moral panic involving trans people, and the previous moral panic before that involving women, and the one before that involving Muslims. And so, like, this is the moral panic of the current year. It's anime. Now, the reason I'm saying it's culminating is because someone has gotten arrested over playing a video game, and I don't think that this has ever happened in the entirety of human history. Or if it did, it never made the news. But, like, again, as far as I know, like, this is the exact first instance in human history around the planet for someone playing a video game. If you guys can point to another example, like, something that happened before this time where, you know, again, just someone downloaded the game online, played them, and ended up in prison, please show it to me, because I'm not aware. Probably, like, in North Korea, maybe it has happened. Like, I know they arrest people there for smuggling CDs and DVDs from South Korea with Western movies. And in the Soviet Union as well, like, if you smuggled a film from the West, you could get in legal trouble. But other than that, no, like, I don't think, like, playing a video game has ever gotten anyone arrested. And so let's see what the video game was about and what exactly happened. So, God, where did I save it? Because I think, like, I saved the name of the game. I don't even know how to pronounce it properly, because it's a Japanese video game, a visual novel. I don't play visual novels. I think they're gay. But this guy did, and he ended up in prison. Okay, so the visual novel is called Teaching Feeling. Teaching Feeling. And as you can see here on my screen in a little bit, it's trending on Twitter, right? Like, every single post about this has at least 150,000 views. And the game looks like this. Okay, it's I can't tell if it's a Japanese game or if it's a Western game made with a Japanese theme. But from what I noticed in the comment section, it's one of the most popular visual novels out there. It was released in 2015, and it's got a story. It's got an emotional story. Apparently, you play as a doctor, and this is happening in an alternative universe. Like, it's a place where slavery is still a thing. And one of your patients brings in this lady, which apparently was a slave to another guy who died in a fire. And she has been mistreated. She's emotionally destroyed. She's got scars all over herself. And this other guy doesn't want her. And because he's a patient, he decides to pay you with her. And you play as the doctor. And apparently, like, there's different ways to play the game. One of them has absolutely no sex scenes. It's like a pure visual novel that's supposed to be wholesome. Like, you're basically trying to, I guess, like, fix this broken character. And the other ones, like, they have, like, romantic and even adult pornographic involvement. And this game was released in 2015. It has been on the internet, has sold over 250,000 copies, was sold in public. Like, it's not like it was a secret or anything. Again, most people that comment here, they say that it's considered to be one of the I guess, like, the Warcraft of, you know, like the Warcraft of strategy game. This is like the Warcraft of visual novels. It's a classic. And so, like, this guy from Norway downloaded this game, and there's this helpline in the United States called, I think it's like NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And what this hotline does is, if anyone finds, like, child pornography on the internet, they report it to this hotline. And then the hotline then basically phones the authorities of the nation where they think the IP has originated from. And so this guy was from Norway. Apparently, he got flagged, and they called the authorities, and they captured him. Now, according to the actual trial, he was accused for more than having this game. Apparently, like, he uploaded also 2 pictures that were vile on the internet. And so people are now split because we don't know what he uploaded. Like, there's not a mention of it anywhere. And some people on the internet are saying that he may have uploaded, like, legit child pornography. Others are saying, no, it was artistic. Personally, I think it may have been 2D because he only got 60 days for this, right? And so, like, I think, like, if he actually uploaded something involving real children, I believe that the punishment would have been much more higher. So it's possible that he may have uploaded actual pictures from this game, right? Or something similar. I don't know. Again, the internet is speculating. Both cases are interesting, right? Like, if you only upload it to D, then this is a case of a guy that was only into anime, and he got arrested for it. The other solution is that, okay, well, he actually did have nasty stuff on his computer, and the authorities in Norway don't think that's significant enough, and so they only gave him 60 days. But regardless, right, this has sparked an immense controversy, because up until now, no one gave a shit about anime. Like, you would not have heard about the story like this before, and the reason that I know you wouldn't have heard it is because it made the news, right? Like, it made the news because it's sensational. Like, no one would have expected up until now someone to get in trouble by playing a video game. And I still don't know, like, if in other countries is the case or not. But, like, it's concerning if you're a parent, right? Like, if you're a parent and you have a kid and he's, like, 16 or 17 and he goes on the internet. Okay, let's say he's 18, right? He goes on the internet, downloads a torrent with a video game. Like, you wouldn't think that, okay, like, well, video game is a problem, right? Like, it's not the dark net. It's not like he's going on some bizarre website or shit. It's like, okay, he got a video game, and now you can wake up with the cops at your door and the news media, you know? So, a lot of parents have to beware, because, like, yeah, I mean, you can, depending on where you're at. And we also noticed, like, recently another case where a guy went into the United States at an anime convention, and he bought a dakimakura. Now, a dakimakura is like a pillow with an anime girl, right? I don't really know what the fuck was on the dakimakura. Like, I've no idea what it represented. But apparently, it landed him in trouble with the authorities. Like, he was in Ireland. The Americans flagged him, because, like, when you go from the airport, you're flying from the US to Ireland, right? Like, you first meet the American security. They flagged him, and he got arrested for it. So, yeah, this is accelerating, apparently. Now, draw her getting therapy? Is that what they need to do? Are they going to offer therapy to the drawing? Okay, let's actually analyze what they're saying, right? Because we shouldn't strawman the argument. Like, it's important to understand where these people are coming from so that we can actually tackle the source of the argument, right? They're not saying that the drawing is the problem. They're not saying that the drawing needs therapy. The argument that they're making is thusly, and this is an argument that I heard when growing up. Whether you agree with it or not, you should understand that there is this argument in society regardless of the time period you're in, right? So, like, if you're in the year 2000, this argument exists. If you're in 2010, the argument exists. And it will probably exist in 2040 and 50 and 60. Like, it's a classic. You can't get rid of it. And the argument is like this. If you're a normal person, you're not going to be attracted to violence. Okay? Like, normal, healthy people, they're not attracted to gore, to blood, to murder, to death. You know, normal people don't like watching corpses. They don't like watching people slaughtering each other. Normal people, they go to church, they sing, they pray, and they love their family. That's what normal people do, right? So there's absolutely no reason for you to watch a slasher film. There's no reason for you to play a video game where you're a criminal and you're selling drugs and you're killing police officers. So when I was in the 90s, that was the argument. It's like, if you're playing violent video games, there's something mentally wrong with you. You're a person that's going to snap. You're the type of guy that any second, if someone pisses them off, you may pick up a gun and go shoot something. You know? That was like the argument that I had when I grew up. And it was more than that. It was like, normal people don't listen to black or death metal, right? Like, why would you listen to anything that has death in it? Normal people don't like violent movies. Like, you're not going to watch slasher films, and you're not going to watch Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, why do you want to see teenagers getting murdered by a psychopathic killer, right? Like, what pleasure does a normal person get from watching something like that? Only a mentally deficient person enjoys that. So yeah, that was like the world that I grew up with. And then it moved on to misogyny. It was like, normal people, they do not make sexist jokes. Normal people do not read media that has rape. So Game of Thrones, right? Like, Game of Thrones has rape in it. Normal people don't read that. Normal people don't do misogynistic jokes. Normal people are good feminist allies that call out other men when they see improper behavior. Right? Like, that was the other decade that I lived through. After that, it was about racism. Like, normal people don't like racist jokes. Normal people do not consume racist media. If someone makes a racist joke, he's just 1 inch away from doing a hate crime. And that's why we actually police hate speech. Like, if you actually live in a European country and you do hate speech, like, that's a crime. They can lock you up for it. Just look at Britain, right? Because if a person is hateful, he's literally 1 inch away from becoming Hitler. And so what they're basically saying is that normal people aren't attracted to children, and so, like, normal people would never play this video game. There's no reason why a civilized individual would ever want to do anything to do with such a video game. And if you are, then you're like 1 inch away from molesting kids. This is their argument, okay? It's not about, like, the fact that the pixelated character is in the wrong, or that the pixelated character is going to be abused. No, what they're saying is you're a pedophile for playing it, right? Because, like, normal people aren't attracted to these types of video games. That's their statement. And this is why they want to criminalize it. Now, let me just go through a super chat that I got. So why did they create those weird horror porn like Saw? By the way, I can't watch that shit, V. Too disturbing for me. No, I agree with you. Like, there are certain things that I don't like watching. I have no problem watching Saw. Like, I think body horror is fine. It gives me that adrenaline edge when I'm watching it. It's kind of exhilarating. And you're also curious to see how the person escapes. I like thrillers. But if I was to see, like, real stuff, if you're showing me, like, real cartel execution videos, I can't watch them. Like, they're way too disturbing for me. And so, watching a movie, like watching a fictional thing with real actors, is fine. Like, I can watch that. But if I know, like, it actually did happen, it disturbs me. Like, for instance, recently I'm reading history, and I'm reading about the French Revolution. And I'm reading what happened to Louis the 17th. It's so fucked up. Like, it's genuinely horrifying. And it's more horrifying than if I knew it's a story. Right? Because if it's a story, I know it didn't happen to anyone. No one got hurt. But if I know it's, like, actually real, and like, that kid was locked for 6 months in a prison, in perpetual darkness, after being separated by his family and terrorized. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Right? Like, it's a completely different emotional impact. And so, it's important to understand the argument that they're making, right? Like, in order to have an honest conversation, You need to understand what people on both sides are saying. Normal might as well be an overused slur, the way it's being used right now. Well, the main problem with it is that the rules are constantly changing, right? Like let's look at the definition of what loli is. When I grew up on the internet, loli used to apply specifically to prepubescent. So it was people watching anime that had like genuine little kids, like little toddler-like. It wasn't like a stylistic choice. It wasn't like the character looked young. Like no, they behaved in a way that's underage. Like for instance, there was that comedy anime Dragon Maid, right? And they have like this actual kindergarten kid there. Like that's what constitute as someone from that community, right? The character actually looked young, behaved young, and by all intents and purposes was young. But now I see the definition of loli to be a character that has massive fat tits, has big plumpas, behaves like a mature person, but because on the Wikipedia says that they're 17, then any fan service with them, even if it's not pornographic, even if you show some cleavage, they will consider that's underage. And the reality is, like, if you apply the law in certain nations, European ones, like for instance Ireland, you will notice that yes, like that actually is illegal. So in Ireland, for instance, I would have to check again. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting it wrong. But there are European states that flat out say that any fictional depiction, right, of a minor, even if it's a stick figure, if they're 17, then it counts. Now, of course, the law has never been applied to the actual letter. I mean, I don't think, like, if anyone draws 17 figures, stick figures, and they say this is 17 and makes, like, a pornographic stick figure, that they're going to get into trouble. But the way things are expanding, it's kind of like, if you think about, I don't know, 2005, right? You would never imagine that the cops could arrest you over a joke. And then enters Count Dankula, which is doing the Nazi pack dog salute. And all of a sudden, people are shocked. It's like, what do you mean he's being arrested over that? Right? And he went to trial and it was like a big thing. And now if you hear that someone in England was arrested over a joke, like people will say, I mean, yeah, of course, it's England, right? Like they should have known the law better. And so the reason this is happening is because while the law states something, and at one point it actually means something, over time the meaning can change. A perfect example is with doxing, right? Like when doxing became a word that it was made illegal, it actually meant like finding out someone's passwords or finding out someone's credit card information and publishing it online. And most people agreed, it's like, okay, so that's doxing, that should be illegal. But now doxing can actually mean giving someone's home address, or giving someone's like in the European Union, even like posting someone's Twitter handle can be a GDPR violation. And so the same thing that back in the day used to be in the yellow pages and was normalized, now it's starting to become more and more like an electronic crime, depending on who does it and how many people are upset. And I think like that's the benchmark. That's how you know it's a crime or not. It's based on what is the level of outrage you're doing. Like how much are people upset over the fact that you've done it. Age of consent in Ireland is 17. Take into account that the age of consent doesn't really matter when you're talking about pornographic images, right? So like I know countries where age of consent can be 16, but they will say that for pornographic images, all characters need to be 18. And so you actually end up with really nasty situations in those countries because you do have teenagers that are 16. And you have like, let's say you have a daughter, right? And she takes lewd pictures of herself and uploads it to her boyfriend. She's 16, he's 16. Like technically, it's not a crime. But according to the law of that country, it is. Like they could actually have sex with each other and it's legal. But the moment she takes a lewd picture of herself, that's pornographic, and that gets flagged. And so you end up with cases where, like, teenagers are actually taken to the cops. And it's not nice to end up with the police knocking at your door and with your kid having a criminal record because, I mean, most of the time, like, even the parents don't know, right? Like, you don't know what your daughter is doing at 16 in her bedroom. Like, let's be honest, like, no parent does this level of helicopter parenting. And secondly, like, most parents wouldn't even know that it's illegal. Especially the boomer generation that barely learned how to use technology. They're like, wait, so, like, what happened? Like, your daughter took a picture with a bathroom towel and then sent it to her boyfriend. And they're like, what? Like they would even have to start to process what the fuck happened. Kana from DM is adorable. Don't want to bang though. I do not know who Kana is, but okay. That's her name from the Dragon Maid? Alright. Well, I mean, I saw Dragon Maid when it came out. I mean, it's probably like 6 or 7 years ago, right? I remember watching it with my wife. And, I mean, I remember there was a character there that was a 1,000-year-old dragon, but, like, it was drawn as an actual kindergarten child. It behaved like one. And by all intents and purposes, like, that's what I would understand a loli is. Like, it's a character that acts and behaves like a teenager. But then you have, like, the cyberpunk version of loli, the one that has guns and stuff, Rebecca, right? And she acts like an adult. I mean, she drinks alcohol, she uses guns, she's fighting, and people call her a loli. And it's like, well, hold on a little bit. Like, there's a massive difference between the two. Like, one is clearly underage and underdeveloped, and the other one, like, acts like a normal woman. Frog Jupiter, thank you for $5. Normal people are overweight or obese. Normal people are sick. Normal people are weak and conformists. Why be normal when I could be the Uberman? Well, it's true. It's if you want to be an outlier, you're either top of the food chain or bottom of the food chain. It depends, right? But unless you try, you never know. They mix loli with petite. Yeah. So basically, what I think is happening, usually when I'm wondering, when I see something like this, my Eastern European brain gets like, okay, who benefits from this, right? Who benefits? And so the first one is the ideological benefit. There are certain people that have a different take on how crime should be handled. So the way my generation thought crime should be handled is when a person breaks the law, you punish them, right? So, like, you wait for someone to commit an action, and you punish the action. And that's, like, what fair justice looks like. Other people think differently. Other people think, no. Like, if we can know how a person thinks, we can actually punish them before they commit the crime. And this is where you have, like, the hate speech laws, right? Because, like, if a person acts in a racist way, like they say racist things, well, they probably discriminate at the workplace. They probably get violent towards people of other race. So, like, if we crack on them now, we prevent actual crime from happening, right? Like, people used to call this the thought police. Now, it's up to you to choose which school of thought you belong to. Just take into account that once you normalize one, like, you normalize all of the logic tree from that part, right? Like, you can't just pick and choose. Like, once a society begins believing that thought policing is okay, like you have in the UK, right? Like, in the UK, they police people for hate speech. They police people for thinking incorrectly. Then, like, the entire logic tree goes to that. If you have a different society that's like, no, we're policing people based on their actions, it's a completely different logic tree. There's advantages and disadvantages, like maybe policing people, locking 5 innocent people up just to lock 5 others that could have committed crime. Maybe it saves victims, there are entire societies that run based on that idea. The other one is like, okay, if we wait for someone to commit a crime, then, you may have, like, people that have been victimized, which could have been prevented. Have you fact-checked the cashless bill in the EU? No. You are failing for fake news here, Vid. The guy was arrested for distributed. I talked about it, right? So, like, I asked Arch to translate the entire article, And it says like this: the guy was arrested because the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children filed a complaint to his authorities. The authorities then went in and investigated him and found out that he has the video game. And then it went to trial. And the judge at the trial said that while the video game by itself would have been enough, the fact that he posted 2 other pictures is going to give him a harsher sentence. Right? This is what the Norwegian press says. Now, as I mentioned before, we don't know what the 2 other videos were. And the opinions on the internet, looking at the comment section, seem to be split. Some people are saying that they were like real child abuse images. Other people are saying that they were videos from the game, or that they were other anime pictures. But what is known is that he only got 60 days for the entire sentence. And so if they were like real images with abused kids, then the problem is like, why would you give him 60 days? Like, that guy should have gotten at least several years. Like, if you're posting like actual child abuse images, right? He should have gotten several years, not 60 days. Where if it's anime stuff, well, the conversation then becomes legit. Like, it's not fake news. Like, people are actually talking about something that happened in Norway. And so, like, this is the information that I have. If you have, like, additional information that appeared, like, please let me know. But from reading the Norwegian press and seeing what people are talking online, this seems to be the case. V, we need Cyberpunk version of your troll. You know, I've been on this Cyberpunk binge for like 4 months now, especially awesome watching it while the NJ Legal Devils plan. I do have like a Cyberpunk version of my Succubi, so that is that. How did they find out he downloaded the game from America? I think he posted pictures of the game. Or he posted like some anime pictures. He got flagged, and then the cops raided his house, and they found the game. That's how they didn't go like because he downloaded the game. They went because he posted something. Then they can't show you the evidence because it's too bad to see. Well, I mean, look. Put yourself into the shoes of the newspaper, right? To be honest, though, like, I generally don't know how these trials go. Like, even though I was at law school, like, we didn't really focus on this aspect. But, like, in Romania, we don't have a jury, right? So it's just the judges. And, the judge probably gets to see the incriminating evidence. But, like, if you have a jury, and there's, like, elderly women there, or young adults, and they're on the jury duty, and you have, like, some really nasty pictures. Like, how do they do it? Like, do they show it to the jury? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, Like, no, seriously, can you imagine? Like, I would just... I don't know if I could look at something like that. Like, imagine you have, like, the Epstein thing, like, the Epstein case. And you have, like, the jury, and they have to watch all of the evidence. Because you gotta watch it, right? Because, like, it's part of the job as the jury to review the evidence so that you know what the guy has done. And imagine, like, having to sit there and watch an entire video. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Now, an explanation that I heard, and this one is interesting. It's like, well, yeah, but, like, the jury gets to see the censored version. Okay, fine. But I can imagine being the censor. Like, at some point down the chain, it's still a human being that has to watch all that shit. Right? Like, imagine you're seeing the Epstein files, and it's like with children crying and screaming. I mean, good God. Yeah, your civic duty is to watch it, isn't it? No, this is a legit question. I don't know how they do it. Like, I know that in Romania, well, obviously the judge would probably watch it, but, like, it's kind of different when you have, like, one person, right? And he signed up for it, he mentally prepares, he knows what it's up, right? Because, like, it's probably not his first rodeo. But if you're the member of a jury, and you're just, yesterday you were at your workplace and coming home to your wife and kids, and now you have to go to court and review this type of thing, it's... yeah. Jury nullification happen far more often. I don't think, like, Norway has a jury. You gotta understand, like, not all nations are structured based on the Commonwealth system. And so, There's advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, in Europe, you don't get a jury, you get a judge. Like, the judge passes the sentence, passes the verdict, and you have a lawyer and a prosecutor. And so, if you don't like the sentence that the judge passes, yeah, you can get an appeal, and then you get like 3 judges, and then you can get another appeal, and you get 5 judges. And if you think that the law is unconstitutional, then you appeal to the highest court, and you get 9 judges. But basically, like, the judges are people that have law school. They studied law. They like, it's their job to pass sentences. And so there's advantages and disadvantages. Like, the advantages that with the jury system, allegedly, it's harder to corrupt so many people. Like, it's easier to corrupt 1 judge. It's easier to corrupt 2 judges out of 3, but it's very difficult to corrupt an entire, like, half a jury, right? Not impossible, of course, but like, from what is easier. In the US, a policeman watches it to be a witness. Really? I heard that Facebook used to have moderators that would have to watch the smut. And it wasn't like just this type of stuff being uploaded. Like, there were cases of gore, of children being harvested for organs, like all this nasty shit. And a lot of the moderators, like, they would just have mental breakdowns, or they would vomit. And it's like, okay, you wanted to be a Facebook moderator, right? So the thing is, like, I have no respect for that, because the same Facebook moderators that were actually performing a useful job for society, they were also banning my friends for hate speech and for racist jokes. And so I never actually cared that they're being underpaid, they're being overworked, and that they're having to deal with this amount of shit. I was like, good. That's the more the merrier. I fucking hate them. This was in 2018, by the way, so now I'm pretty sure, like, the moderators are different. No, they weren't paid well. I think, like, most of them were Indians, and they were paid below minimum wage. And so this was actually kind of funny when they were hiring Indians back in the day, because America was insanely progressive at the time. I mean, more progressive than now, right? And the Indians were extremely conservative. And so they would ban a lot of LGBT folks that on other platforms they would get away with a lot of shit, because, like, it's American moderation. But then you'd hit the wall when you met the Chad Indian moderator, and he wouldn't tolerate any of that stuff, right? So, like, he would perform malicious compliance in a way. Like, he would go out of his way to find anything wrong with the content of an LGBT person and then get them banned. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about the arguments against policing on this shit, because the arguments for, I think, like, I already discussed them. The arguments for is that, well, no sane person, no normal person would play such a video game. They're 1 day away from snapping. Like, at any second, they are going to harm a real child. So it's best to arrest them and punish them so that nobody plays games like this. That's the one of the argument. The other argument, which is well, I mean, this other argument is something that different nations use. It's like, okay, how close to a child does this thing look like? And this is what actually is happening in Europe. Like, there's different countries with different standards for what constitutes as illegal. We're not talking moral here, or if it's objectionable, but it's like, should the person go to prison? And in a lot of countries, it's basically like, how close does it look to a child? If it's like a westernized, very realistic looking, you know, like when you have like Assassin's Creed, right? That is 3D and it's like a very close rendering to a real person. That is kind of like, okay, if a person is attracted to that, then probably he's attracted to children, and therefore, you know, like, the material is very similar to CP. or if it's photoshopped, like if you have the body of a child and you put if you put the face of a child on the body of an adult porn star, like that's considered illegal. That's the European laws. And in other cases, it's like, no, even if it's a stick figure, right? Like the law doesn't make a difference, and so like the only people that do make the difference are the enforcers, like the police officer. Do they go after someone that made the stick figure? The problem with this is that in most places, simply seeing it is a crime, right? So like even if you don't want to access it, I think in Italy the law is like that. Like even if your intention is not to access it, but you're like on a Discord server, and someone posts it, and you saw it on your computer, like technically it's a crime. In reality, again, I don't know if anyone will prosecute you for it if you can show that, look, I genuinely didn't want to access this. But the level of trolling here is unlimited. You know, like someone posts a picture of Jinx on a server, and basically like every European gets into trouble. They actually did that. They did that differently though. This happened last year, I think. They took like from an actual illegal video where a kid was actually getting molested. Like apparently there was a segment with a guy eating popcorn. And that segment with the guy eating popcorn, like it had nothing illegal, right? Like it was just the guy eating popcorn, but because it was part of that video, apparently like the hash for the file was flagged. I don't know how this works, but pretty much like the automated system would believe that you're sharing illegal content, and they would immediately like call the cops and do all that thing. And more importantly, it would get your account banned forever, right? And so a lot of people were tricked into sharing that popcorn video. Like it was, if you share it, you get your account banned, and people didn't believe it. They actually did share it, and they did get banned. And I think like there's a couple of YouTube videos explaining this. And there's also a page on Know Your Meme, which actually talks about the incident that happened that year with many people having like their emails basically shut down, right? Like if you uploaded that on Gmail, like your entire Google account would be shut down because again, like the automated system, like it would actually consider that you're uploading like genuine illegal stuff, while the person uploading had no idea. It's just a guy eating popcorn. And so, the enforcing to this is going to be like really difficult, right? Because up until now, enforcement was really easy. There weren't that many people that were creating this type of content because it's illegal to create, right? Like having access to children, having the immoral framework of actually doing something like this, you know? Like, I mean, it's beyond fucked up. I don't know the type of monster that can pull something like this off, right? And then upload it. Like, it's a very small fringe segment of even the criminal underworld that does something like this. And so when the cops would find these types of pictures, like, they would flag them. They would be placed in a database. And then whenever someone uploaded it, like, it gets dinged. And the authorities know, right? And so enforcing this wasn't really that difficult. Like, if I wanted to open a social media website and it becomes popular and now I have to comply to certain standards, you can literally get like a third party that had the database of like stuff that's banned. You upload it on your server, and whenever someone uploads it, it gets dinged, it gets called to the cops, right? It's cheap to implement, very easy. But that's assuming that these pictures are rare. And even for criminals, they're not just extremely dangerous to produce, but illegal. And so, like, the risk is what it is. And most criminals won't do it, right? So, like, you have very few of these pictures around. But if you're going to say that, no, now you can create these pictures out of thin air. Like, anyone that doodles something is illegal, or could be illegal, actually, right? Characters that look in a gray area, like they may look like they're 17, but the lore says 21, or they're petite or whatever, they count as well. Well, now for social medias to be able to enforce this, like they would have to commission companies that run AI, and there aren't that many, right? So like now you have a monopoly on the type of companies that Discord, Twitter, and all the other have to work with in order to make sure that these types of drawings don't appear. And so the ones who benefit are these companies that have the technology to recognize when you're uploading something on the internet if it's an 18-year-old drawing or a 16-year-old drawing. The other people that benefit are the ones that want to push the idea that the internet is a very dangerous place, which it is. But they obviously want to make it sound more dangerous than it is. And so this is what happened when you had the first internet censorship wave coming out in 2016. They said we need trust and safety councils on Reddit, on Twitter, on YouTube, because women and girls are in danger. I mean, the UK was the one that led this charge, and that was the argument. Women and girls are in danger, so like we need internet censorship. And they started counting every single misogynistic joke, Sargons, I wouldn't even, right? Like all of those were considered to be in the same level as actually groping a woman on the street, to the point where they came up with the statistic that 1 out of 5 girls are getting raped. Now, if you actually looked at the study, it was like if you would just catcall a woman on the street or tell her good morning and you didn't know her and she felt uncomfortable, that counted, right? And so like they increased the number of danger statistically in order to get people more used to the idea that, yeah, we need trust and safety on every single platform because otherwise women and girls are in danger. And so now they're trying to push for digital ID, right? They're trying to push for more internet crackdowns. Like they're saying it's about porn, but like as we saw with Twitter, it goes with conversations about immigration. It goes with hate speech. And so convincing people that the internet is extremely dangerous, they're more likely to be, yeah, I mean, we need to. The European Union is trying to pass a law. It didn't get through this time, but they're still trying to make it so that every single person is sus, right? And so they want to check every single person's messages, every single person's privacy. Like they basically... it's not that they want to remove internet anonymity, which is what they're already doing in many places, but now they want to remove all encryption, right? So like if you want a file to be encrypted, you should not be able to encrypt it from the government. Like the government should have a key to your house, to every drawer, to everything, just to make sure that you don't have anything illegal. And it almost passed, but they're going to try again. And so like if they convince the people that, well, there's such a danger online, I mean, look at the huge number of illegal material, and they will include every single drawing, every single AI generated shit, like everything in order to muddy the water, like between actual crime and you know the other stuff, like this video game, for instance. That people are more likely to be like, yeah, no, sure. I mean, if I have nothing to hide, I have nothing to fear. SRC Maker, thank you for $20. Problem with the jury system in the US. It is supposed to be a jury of your peers. However, the definition of peers is anyone more than 18 who lives in your county and now have millions of people and they are your peers. Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of the stuff that exists in America was created in a society where you had a small number of people, right? So like jury of your peers in a small town where everyone knows each other is obviously going to act different than jury of your peers in New York City where you get like, I mean, you already had a case where every single black person, like they knew that the guy did it, but they acquitted him anyway because he was black, right? So like identity politics, tribalistic bullshit. Obviously, you know, like if you create a system in the year 1800 for the people and the generations then, it's going to be very different applied now. X implemented end-to-end encryptions DMs now. Yeah, they did. And France chimped out. The UK chimped out. And they're basically, like France is trying to end encryption. They actually went after the owner of Telegram for the same stuff. And of course, you know, like obviously if you have a company that makes safes, bank robbers eventually are going to use the safe to hide their money in, right? Like, but to say that no one should have safes or that the safe company is responsible, that's ridiculous, right? Because this is what they're saying. It's like, okay, because encryption exists, people uploading illegal videos, they use encryption. And it's like, okay, sure. Yes, like criminals are going to use that. But there's a lot of people that aren't criminals, and I think like they're the overwhelming majority. And they should be able to have encryption. Right? Like the idea, oh, we shouldn't have safes because like the government wants to see what's in someone's house. No. Right? I mean, should people have privacy? That's the question. Is the concept like do we live in such a high trust society towards our politicians that all of a sudden like privacy just doesn't matter? Because this is what they're saying, right? Like the politicians are so trustworthy, and the government, especially after the pandemic and after COVID, is one of the most trusted institutions on the planet. That there is actually no reason why you should have anything to hide from Big Uncle. Call me crazy, but I don't think it's a mere coincidence that the censorship against anime is starting wrapping up right around the time the numbers came out showing anime manga was kicking Western media's ass. Well, no, actually, Ministry of Wrong Thing. I did talk about it. Exactly when the Vice article came. And it was, I think, like a couple of months different. Like, you have this academic study coming out showing that it was Demon Slayer that managed to outsell the entire DC comic lineup. And immediately after that, like, you get to see, like, ramping ups of articles attacking anime. The Vice article comes out. It bans Japan from participating in the comments. There were a lot of factual inaccuracies that they didn't address. And it got a Pulitzer. Now, again, you know, like, from the perspective of Disney and Marvel, the main reason that Western entertainment isn't able to do stuff anymore is because there's too many taboos. Like, there's too many things that you're not allowed to make in Western entertainment. You're not allowed to do racism. You're not allowed to do sexism. The definition of these things is incredibly watered down. Like, for instance, you can't make Game of Thrones anymore. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's not just the fact that people are afraid of Twitter. But there's, like, the SAG-AFTRA Guild. And they're basically flat out saying, no, we're not going to do anything that has titties anymore. Right? So, like, you can't make Game of Thrones. And then you have, like, rules against showing alcohol, drugs, substance abuse, suicide, this and that. Like, so many taboos that it's actually very difficult to make new things. It's not that you can't make entertaining things, but, like, when the things that you're allowed to make are very narrow, eventually you end up making with the same sanitized stuff. You know, like, the same tropes, the same things. And when you have a culture like Asia that has very little taboos, like, it still has some, but not that many, and they can make, like, a plethora of things, well, they become very popular with the market. And so, like, Disney and Marvel, they can't compete with that. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to destroy it. They're trying to sanitize it so that everyone is on the same playing field, right? And the way they're trying to sanitize it is, well, by pushing for a change in culture, right? Like, people to actually become very critical of anime, right? And also to push the streaming services and the payment processors to crack down. Now, I'll show you what exactly it looks like when you become, like, critically aware, right? Like, when you become woke of fiction. Let's take Snow White. Like, does anyone have a problem with Snow White? Does anyone think that you shouldn't show your kids Snow White? Like, most people will say no, right? I mean, what's wrong with Snow White? It's a fairy tale. You grew up with it, right? There's no issue with Snow White. Now, what if you have, like, an academic saying that you're a child abuser if you show Snow White to your kids? And you're like, well, what the fuck do you mean? How am I a child? Like, what? Are you insane? And they will say, well, you know, like, there's that part where Snow White, she takes the apple, and by all accounts, she's dead. Like, everyone thinks that she died. And then you have, like, this prince, this necrophiliac, coming out in the forest, and he sees this dead bitch, and he thinks, I'm going to stick my tongue in her. And he goes to the dwarves, and he tells the dwarves, look, I really want to kiss her. I want to kiss this dead bitch. And the dwarves go like, oh yeah, no, sure, that's legit. Now, this is literally the story, right? Seriously, like, think about it. This is literally what the story is. Like she, for all accounts and purposes, is dead, right? I mean, am I wrong? Like, she's dead in a coffin, And you have like the prince coming out. It's not even rape, it's necrophilia. Like the prince doesn't know that she's alive. He doesn't know that she's still breathing. Like the prince thinks, okay, that's a dead chick in the woods. I'm going to stick my tongue in her. I'm going to go la, 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 like a hamster on the fucking windshield. It's not even about consent. But it's just how vile and disgusting it is, right? It's not an ape culture, it's even worse. It's a story that promotes necrophilia, right? Now, if you frame it like that, and if I was to have like 10,000 psychopaths that actually enjoy going after people and tearing shit down, and they would believe that we're improving society by, you know, clearing up all of these rape fantasies and whatnot, and we actually start like bullying people and destroying lives and shit, eventually other people will agree with us. So much so that Disney, by the way, has actually removed the Snow White kiss scene from one of their train exhibits, right? They had a roller coaster, it had like that scene, they actually removed it. Because, again, like the psychopaths that were deconstructing, they actually managed to remove that. And the thing is, like, you don't really have any counter-argument, right? Because, like, if you're in an academic setting and, like, people go like, okay, well, justify why that scene has to be in. And you can say, well, you know, it's fiction, they don't care. No, they will say, no, like a normal human being, a normal person, does not enjoy a story like that. Like, that story is not for someone that is a decent human being. Decent human beings do not perform necrophilia. Like, what can you say? You know? And so, yeah, like, normally you grow up with that story, you never think about it. Like, no one that I know that grew up with Snow White ever thought about it that way. Is that something normal for people to even notice? But, like, once you become aware and once someone tells you, like, now you know. And it's very difficult to unknow it, right? You're never going to look at Snow White the same again. What if because he lived in a magical land, the prince had heard the legend of a girl eating a kiss? It's not explained in the story. If it's not explained in the story, then it's fiction. It's fan fiction. In the big picture, what you are saying is true, but it matters on the amplification of certain narratives. I mean, look, I'll tell you this. You know, I grew up with Sailor Moon, and I grew up with Dragon Ball. And all of them, like, had the fan service with underage characters. Like, with Sailor Moon in her transformation, you get to see her underwear, right? If I remember correctly. I haven't seen Sailor Moon since I was a teenager, so... But I do remember, like, the sailor suits, right? Like, they had, like, really small miniskirts. And you could see, like, some fan service there. I mean, obviously, the girls in their transformations were sexualized. Dragon Ball, I remember Bulma. Like she showed titties a couple of times to Mount Roshi in a couple of gags. Goku, you get to see his pee-pee in a couple of shots, especially when it's comedy related. Like he takes a piss and he manages to pee on the Invisible Man or whatever. Now when I was watching that, like, in my brain, I was never connecting it to these are children. Right? Like, in my brain, I was, like, watching it like reading Snow White. Like, I would never, like, think about the age, the implications. It's like, no, that's a funny scene. And I would laugh. You know? Or if it's some anime fan service. Like, most of the anime fan service is also for funny. Like, they do it for funny purpose. You know, like, someone trips and he grabs a boobie, gets slapped. Like, that's the Naruto type of fan service. And when you're watching the anime, you're laughing, you know? You're not insisting and hyper-analyzing the scene. But, like, once someone starts pointing it out and, like, they hyper-focus and they deconstruct the anime and they start, why is this okay? Why is this allowed? The same when I was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And that's with real actors, right? Like, I was growing up, it was a very popular TV show. And apparently, like, Buffy is, like, well, like, 16 and she has a relationship with Angel. And they have sex. Now, it's not pornographic, but it is enough. It's implied. It's fan service. And the Western style. Like, for no second did I stop to overthinking it. And it's like, wait, what am I seeing here? What the fuck, you know? But, like, if someone comes out and tells you, and it's like, well, it's difficult to defend it. He was like the guy in Kung Pao, but his tongue is a necromancer. Oh, my God. He had the kiss of life. I don't think I've seen Bambi, so I assumed, oh my God, they will cancel me for that. Bambi was like the type of thing that you would show children to make them cry. most sadistic shit that you can do to a child. In a world where most cartoons are like happy and wholesome, you give them Bambi. And the thing is, like, it also starts so wholesome, you know, with Bambi, like, being nice and having fun with his mom, and then the hunter just shoots her. And you get to see little Billy fucking cry. God, I can hardly wait for my kid to grow up so I can show him Bambi. I'll have to wait, you know, maybe on a Christmas or something, when he's happy and cheerful. And he pisses me off. Like, this is what I'm going to do when my son pisses me off the first time, you know? This is like the great punishment. Just wait him to have like a nice day, but you have to like keep the animosity, you know, because you're an adult and you can keep the animosity going. And so you're going to wait for the perfect opportunity, like when your kid is happy and he's having a good day, and then you give him like Walt Disney Bambi. It's like, take that. and then you also have Lion King, you know? So you got like the two of them. You did miss the trauma. Dude, like, it's so sadistic. Like, the music, like, everything. Oh yeah, Old Yeller is another one. Yeah, these are like the three major fuck-ups of my childhood. Old Yeller, Bambi, and Lion King. The Titanic as well, but like, you need to be a little bit older for the Titanic. You can't really cry, you can't really piss your eyes properly when you're a kid. You don't really get what's happening. I watched rabbits being killed and skinned at 4, so I guess Bambi doesn't matter. You think that, see, like, the thing with, like, the rabbit is that, yeah, like, if you're at the young age and you see animals being killed, it doesn't really have the same effect, because, like, as human beings, you're supposed to. Right, like, before civilization, like, when our ancestors were alive, your dad went hunting with a spear, killed the animal, brought it to camp, and you'd see it getting cooked, right? So, like, it's part of, like, the natural thing. You're supposed to eat meat. So, like, seeing animals getting killed isn't necessarily the worst. But seeing anthropomorphized animals, like, where they're being translated into human emotions, and you're now thinking of it not like an animal that's food, but you're thinking it like as something that has a mother and compassion and cares, and they get killed by a hunter. Oh, that strikes differently. A chick paid for my Titanic movie? Ah, many such cases. To be fair, though, I did cry at Titanic. And so, yeah, there's a couple of things where I actually cried. So I cried at Bambi. I cried at Lion King. I haven't seen Old Yeller, but I assume I would have cried as well. I cried at Titanic, and, what else did I cry at? Oh yeah, Walking Dead Season 1, the video game. When Lee dies. And when, Clementine gets to see her parents. I cried at those as well. And I think, if you don't cry, you're a cold-hearted monster and a piece of shit. Like, I'm going to judge you. If you can watch these things, and if you can experience them for the first time, and you're not pissing your eyes at Lion King, there's something fundamentally fucked with you. Unless you're like a Machiavellian person and you're rooting for Scar. And you're like, oh wow, Scar, well fuck, that's based. Yeah, no, like that's what Machiavelli would have told you to do. Yeah, Scar. Nah. You managed to take the throne. Let's see you govern. Scar, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you need to start conquering other kingdoms. There's not enough animals along the Lion Rock. Like, your hyenas are going to notice that you're breaking the social contract. Scar, you need to start conquering shit. Also, wasn't Twilight basically pedo bait? I haven't seen Twilight, so I don't know. But I do know, like, people weren't as sensitive back then because you have Stephen King books like It. I imagine, okay, so, I want to do this with AI, but fuck, I'm so upset that, I'm so upset that they managed to remove the stuff from AI that has intellectual property. So I really can't get my idea to life. I wanted to use ChatGPT Sora 2 for it. But like, for those of you who don't know, in this book, after they defeat the Eldritch Horror, after they defeat it, all the kids, and I think like they're at the ages of like 10, 11 in the book, right? Like the Circle of Losers. they start fucking each other. Like, they're making a promise that if this creature ever comes back alive, they're going to come back and kill it, right? And this is at the end of the book 1. And in order to seal this promise, they all have sex with the girl. I forgot their names. Like, it's been, Jesus, like, I remember, like, reading this shit in high school. But, like, when I was reading, I was like, what the fuck is going on? You can go on Wikipedia and you can fact check me if you don't believe me. Like, it's in the book written by Stephen King. It comes out of nowhere. Like, it's not even fan service. It's just, like, the most disgusting, most bizarre shit. Like, Game of Thrones has stuff like this, you know, where Ramsay gets the dogs to have sex with the Arya lookalike because, like, they married and she's not a noble woman and he's disgusted with her, so, like, he just torments her. But, like, that is for the Ramsay character build-up. Like, they really want you to hate that character. They want you to despise him so that when he dies, it feels cathartic, right? Like, that's how George R.R. Martin raises his villains. This one, like, absolutely no reason whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing connected to the story. Nothing connected to the plot. It's just, like, the most fucked up thing. And so, I wanted to make this, like, this scene where the clown is begging a police officer for help. And it's like, look, you gotta help me. Like, there's some kids in here. It's like, it's so fucked up. Like, they're running train on that bitch. I've never seen anything like it. Like, look, I'm a eldritch horror. Yes, I kill people, but I would never do something like that. That is, like, even way beyond me. That is so messed up. Dude, you gotta send the FBI in here. You gotta send someone. Look, just put me out of my misery. I wanted to use AI in order to do something like that, but I can't, because, like, they removed everything that you can do, which looks too close to an actual character. So, that scene from it. Yes, that scene from it. I was always curious if they're going to put it on the big screen. I guess no. I guess certain things from Stephen King are way too much. Stephen King was projecting the fetishes? I don't fucking know, man. It's just... I forgot how descriptive it was, and honestly, I don't want to remember. Again, I've read this when I was a teenager, right? So, there's been a lot of decades that passed since then, but, fuck. There's also, like, a furry scene in another book of his, the one with the hotel, Shining. Like, there's another part where the kid manages to see, like, a furry getting a blowjob, and it's like, what the Anyway, chat. I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you all tomorrow, and take care.